What's going on, YouTube? We're getting ready to get a car ready to do a street tune. We got a bone stock DC Integra B18 B1 motor. It's got top mount manifold. It's got eBay turbo with a, what was it, 48 AR exhaust side. And we got a 70 AR on the cold side. And we got unknown injectors. It is ran by a resistor box. There's a couple T's we have to fix. Blow-off valves all teed off wrong, so I gotta redo some T fittings, make all that sweet. The exhaust has no O2 bung, so I gotta pull off the exhaust and take it over to the shop next door to have a bung welded onto it before I can start any tuning. I'll get around to that tomorrow. Other than that, bone stock motor. I have to figure out what injectors are in here. I tried looking up some numbers, couldn't really find anything. So they are definitely a different type of injector because of the top hats are for something different. You can tell they've all been cut up and spliced and rewired. So I'm just gonna have to kind of guess and figure out and see what works. It's gonna probably take quite some time, but I'll get her done. It's got 255 fuel pump. It's got manual boost controller. First, we're gonna delete the boost controller, just have it ran off the wastegate, see what we're working with just on the wastegate. And then we're gonna hook up the boost controller and try and push it to about 8 pounds or so and see how she does from there. So yeah, stay along and enjoy the video. Just got some vacuum lines made, got some zip ties around all the ends, got a bolt over here. I'm just kind of working with what I had in the shop right now. No need to go to the store and get the actual little 90 fitting. That would be the correct way, but I'm just trying to get this done quick. So I have this, that's gonna go to the intake, so vacuum, and then this T, and then this is gonna go to fuel pressure regulator, and then I'm gonna tee that off with the boost gauge. So the intake only has one port, and the blow-off valve wasn't working on the car, so I ran the blow-off valve to that port, and now I can guarantee the blow-off valve will work, or at least it should, unless it has a faulty blow-off valve. And then I'm just gonna tee everything off of this because I've never had an issue with teeing any type of vacuum off of the fuel pressure regulator or boost gauge. So this is gonna guarantee, not guarantee, but it's gonna help from these blowing off a lot. A lot of high-end companies recommend zip tying all the vacuum ends like HKS and AEM. Yep. So vacuum line made, blow-off valve good, and then I have to run a vacuum line from the wastegate straight to the turbo, and then we need to tune on just the wastegate, and then we can hook up the boost controller. So after I hook the vacuum line up to the wastegate straight on a vacuum, then the car is ready to tune mechanically, and then I just have to wait for the exhaust to get done. It is pretty cold out. It's gonna be late night, but shop's all set up in the backyard. Got my lights, got my music. We are ready to go. All right, so I got my pressure source ran from the top of the intake, had it tucked under there so you can't see the T, and then the fuel pressure regulator, I also made a new line, had that run down here, and they had this wiper fluid line, looks like ran into the boost gauge. So whatever, I'm just gonna roll with it. I don't personally really like it, but if it works, it works. And then I got the other T for the boost gauge right here. It's also tucked back here. At first, there's a bunch of vacuum lines with T's all on top of the motor, and I got them tucked away, put away. blow-off valve ran straight to vacuum. So these are our only 2 vacuum ports besides the 3rd one for the brake booster on the intake that I've found on here. So this is the way our vacuum is going to be set up on this car, and it should work just fine. But no more for these. Now we are legit. Next thing, we need to get the, let's get a flashlight out. We need to get this line from the wastegate that ran straight to the turbo. Right now it's teed off. See, it goes to the turbo right there. It's all teed off right now. We want to delete this for now, and then figure out what the wastegate's on, get it tuned, and then go from there. So now I could probably jump in the car and try getting my injector data figured out. This car has no injector data right now. We just know that they're low impedance. So we're just gonna plug in some random data, go from there. As long as we can get the dead times pretty close to where they're supposed to be at, everything else will probably be pretty cakewalk. So not going too bad. She's almost ready to make some boost. It is the next day. I got the injectors figured out last night. Thanks to Google, I was able to find a number on the injectors. They are DSM 450s, which is perfect for this motor. I had 440s last up until 11 pounds with fuel left. So these injectors should do just fine. I already got them uploaded into the tune, BM tune, and it is running decent. It's not trying to die. So now I just gotta pull off this exhaust. It is welded all the way to the back, so I gotta jack the car up, pop off the rear lower control arm. Luckily it's only held on by like 2 mounts, so I just gotta pop off the lower control arm, spray some PB blaster on there just to make sure I have no issues, and then it pretty much just pops off. So it should come off pretty fast, and then I just have to walk it across the street on my shoulder like a man. So yeah, that's where we're at on the car. Car all jacked up, got some supports. Looks like the exhaust is only held on by a one mount, 2 mounts, and the LCA is in the way, and it looks like there's a couple mounts on the very back, so it should be pretty easy to get off. So luckily, could be worse, but yeah, I'm gonna have to carry all that across the street. Oh well though. All right, just got the bung welded on the exhaust. This thing was not fun trying to get out. It is welded all the way back, and with what I got, this isn't fun, but I was able to get it out. Now I just got to get it back in, hook in the wideband. I got the injectors figured out, and she is ready to tune. But yeah, this definitely ain't gonna be fun to get back in, but it's whatever. So that exhaust went on a lot easier than it did actually coming off. I got it in probably 15 minutes. Got the car all put back together, ready to go back down on the ground. I did lose a little exhaust mount. Don't know where that went, but I'm pretty sure I'll find it because I only walked across the street. So that is somewhere. There's a little wobble. I'll find another mount somewhere. But yeah, I'm amazed by how easily that went back on, because getting it off was not fun. With how it's jacked up, I kind of had to rock the car back and forth to get that right spot just to fit it through. Boy, that was fun. All right, so now I'm gonna put it on the ground, start it up, get the wideband hooked up, and start tuning. Okay, we're getting ready to go tune.
No power steering either. God, I got a bad ass, dude.
And then go left. We're having a little bit issues with the injectors. The DSMs are not wanting to idle very well, but we are making do. It is the next day again, so we were driving the car around, spent a bunch of time street tuning on BM tune. It's my first time tuning on a BM tune, so I didn't really feel much. I was just trying to get a feel of the software, and we're trying to figure out that sputtering thing and tried tracing it down through the whole tune, tried fixing it in the tune. At first I thought the dead times were off because it was sputtering, like the dead times were wrong. Come to find out that there's an injector stuck open on cylinder number 3, which is causing that. So we had to cut the tune short. Customers got to pick up the car, get some new injectors, and then we got to do another retune. Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. Injector stuck open, just throwing a whole bunch of fuel in the cylinder. That's what happens. Video has to get cut short, but that's all we can get out of this one.